How Basketball Saved My Life is sponsored by the Hall at the Rail House, Norman's premier event space in the heart of downtown. Weddings, receptions, corporate events, luncheons, banquets, proms, parties, and more. If you're looking for a place to celebrate life, we hope you'll choose the Hall at the Rail House, located in downtown Norman. The Hall at the Rail House is a 100-year-old event space with wood floors, exposed bricks, and beautiful wood barrel ceilings. With plentiful parking and many packages to choose from, the Hall is the perfect spot for your next event. For more information, please visit therailhousenorman.com or call 405-778-0003.
This episode is brought to you by Chris Express Drugs, located in South OKC. For your sports medical needs, call 405-735-3950.
This episode is also brought to you by Emmy Labs. They have partnered with the State Department of Health to bring you free COVID-19 tests. So go to www.emmylabs.com to find a testing location near you. That's a major move. Welcome to another episode of How Basketball Saved My Life. I'm your host, The Easy Button.
And your boy, Twan Don.
And we have a very special guest in here for y'all today, Miss Nikki Teasley.
Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
Coming all the way from the DMV to Norman, Oklahoma.
Show mad love.
That's fire.
Yes, sir.
We just came from the first annual HBSML Nikki Teasley camp, and we had a blast. First of all, before we go into the camp, Nikki Teasley went to North Carolina Tar Heels, okay, 4 years there, played for the LA Sparks and various other teams, but champion with the LA Sparks, all-star with the LA Sparks, all-star game MVP, and the first lady to play, and might even be the only to play in the TBT. I still ain't even get to play in the TBT yet. I still, like,
It ain't too late.
It ain't too late. Well, you're gonna have to put that team together and
It
get
ain't
me
too
on.
late.
Because that's one of my dreams. Hopefully we can get that 2 million.
Oh,
you
yeah.
feel me?
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
So, back to this camp, Nikki. Thank you for coming out and doing a camp. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Can you talk to us about that for those that weren't there, that didn't get a chance to experience it?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. You know, for those who weren't there, you missed an amazing time. You know, the girls really work hard. They got a chance to experience some of the things that I experienced in the WNBA and also learn from the local coaches here. And one thing that I appreciate as I get older is the people that do come back and give to the younger girls. So it was good to see those male coaches in there and they're able to pour into those young women because it's important.
Right.
Important.
Absolutely. What about you, Tom? Because you was in there sweating. Now you over here walking with a limp, talking about your turf toe.
I feel like I got more work than some of the ladies in there.
Oh, man.
Doing the shooting drill, doing a little rebounding. You never realize how hard rebounding is, guys. Make sure you box out. But it was a good time, man. Didn't really know what to expect at first, and then seeing the turnout, you know, seeing what Miss Nikki put in and some of the coaches, it was actually good. It was some good work, some advanced, some basic stuff that kids needed, but still good exercise. So.
Shout out to Coach Hamilton, Coach Mike Neal for coming out, doing the camp with us. We truly appreciate y'all.
Oklahoma Coach of the Year.
Oklahoma Coach of the Year and the runner-up coach to the eventual champions, Mike Neal. So, man, you know what? I had a blast because obviously I didn't know what the turnout was going to be, but I said to myself, you know what? No matter who comes, I'm going to have fun with it. And, you know, and I felt like that showed. And it was genuine, and the kids picked up on all of our energy. And I mean, I felt like it was wall to wall in that second session, man. Like, the energy was live. Coach Neal brought his speaker, and the atmosphere was just great. So,
And that also goes for the players. You know, at some point, it doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter if your friends or your teammate come or if they don't. It all depends on you. You have to put in the work. You have to be accountable for yourself. Your individual work starts with you. And then you can be a part of a team. So shout out to all the young ladies who came there, took it serious.
On a Saturday, Nikki?
On a Saturday. And they got better today.
But hey, we had a goat in the building, so it made it easy.
It did, didn't it?
Easy.
It did, didn't it? Hey, man, so.
She had me tuned in. She told me, like, yeah. Yeah.
And then look, gonna go re-say what she said as if I said it, as if it was me. Yep, I said it. I'm the originator. You know what I'm saying? So, man, all right, Nikki, how'd you get started hooping, first of all?
When I was 6 years old, I'm the only girl in my family, so I'm all brothers.
Oldest, youngest, middle?
I am the knee baby, so I'm next to last.
Okay.
So I'm not the most spoiled one. The last one, my youngest brother, yeah, he's
You're not the middle child, are you?
No, I'm not a middle child.
Okay.
I'm the knee baby.
I'm happy for you.
I'm not, yeah, the middle child got a bad too.
I was that. It was me.
No, okay. Well,
middle child.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
So no, I would follow them around. It's just like, you know, I would go there. They would never let me play. And it's funny, I always tell this story because, you know, it speaks volumes to how important it is and how it played a big part in my life now. So I would go off to the side and I would go practice and they would be playing, and you know, it's not that I wasn't good enough, it's just maybe because I was a girl and I wasn't good enough, right? So I took it upon myself while they were playing, I was on the sideline practicing. I was practicing, and one day there was a player that got hurt. One of the guys, and they didn't have enough, so I got my chance, right?
Those are legendary moments.
Keep working, because you never know when your opportunity gonna come.
That's literally when you got your first break.
When I got my first break. So I got out there.
Kids.
Look, the game was to 11, and I think they had 2.
What other team had?
Guess who scored the next 9 points?
Stop it.
What? That's fire.
Here I am, 9, 10 years old, I think it was 10. And I'm scoring this amount of points against these guys who are 13, 14, 15 years old.
That's major.
Right? So the next time we go to the court, guess who get picked first?
Hey!
They're like, oh, we got her.
Let's go.
That sounds like love and basketball.
There you go.
She is a girl. Came out there hooping. I'm gonna be the first girl in the women's or the NBA.
Seriously, that was my first lesson of how hard work pays off. So all that time, all those years.
And staying ready.
And staying focused, not giving up, not quitting, not letting it overcome me and being too sad or disappointed that I still don't keep trying. So that was my first lesson in that.
Wow.
So I appreciate that. So that was the first time I really fell in love with playing.
The next 9 points? Safe to say y'all won the game.
Pretty much. I can say that now.
Yeah, for sure. It's in the rear now, so we can talk about it.
It's behind me. It's way behind me. But yeah, that was a good moment.
So then, at that point, were you like, I've arrived. I'm here.
No, still. I mean, I was okay with it, but my oldest brother, he actually got me on a Boys and Girls Club basketball team. And that's when I started playing with my teammates, and they started teaching me a little bit more. And then I started like, oh, okay, I can do this. And the first time, this is going to tell my age, but the first time I did a double pump layup, I was like, oh yeah, they can't mess with me.
Hey,
I'm ready. Let's go.
You say that.
Double pump layup.
But that was always the best move you could do. And until you could do it, it was like, I can't really do nothing until I can double pump.
Nah, bro, like, if you not dunking, you gotta do it.
Double pumping.
Double pump layup.
And that was it. Hey,
if you're not dunking, you double pumping.
I thought that was everything.
That is still to this day.
I did too.
Still to this day. So cool. So then you got on the Boys and Girls Club team. Was it then now you playing on AAU teams? What was the next transition to stardom?
Yeah, at that age, yeah. I started with the Boys and Girls Club team, and then that team stayed together. We built an AAU team. And we stayed together for the next 3 or 4 years, and that made a difference too. Because one thing I realized as I get older, and I keep saying as I get older, because a lot of life and being successful and understanding something is about experiencing it. So experiencing being with the same team and building that chemistry, building that camaraderie is something that you can't teach. And it means a lot because those relationships carry through your lifetime also. So I still talk to some of my teammates. So it means a lot to be able to go back and go to their camps and do camps with them and talk and tell our stories about when we were younger.
Right.
You ain't tell no stories at our camp.
I didn't tell no stories.
I told you I'm a sucker for stories.
I get it. Next time.
All right.
Next time. We're going to do it again.
The second annual.
So as growing up, you said you played with your brothers a lot. So did y'all have a lot more, after you got picked up and stuff, so competition within the brothers, was that a little bit more funner now? Like, did they?
Of course. Of course. And they taught me how to be tough. That was another thing. You know, you get knocked down, right? You get knocked down by your brothers, or you get, you know, scars on your legs or your face. Now, when you get in the game, it's just like, oh, that happened, I'm getting up, because that done happened to me already.
For real.
My brothers taught me how to be tough, so I appreciate them for that.
Did you ever beat them?
Of course.
Oh.
Of course. And they won't say it, they don't want to admit it. But I'm telling y'all, none of my brothers can beat me.
Hey, that's that post. None of y'all in my family can beat me.
They won't admit it, but I'm telling you.
Flex. That's, hey, listen, if you disagree, send me a flick of y'all playing, shooting, something. I need proof. She like,
Ain't
nope.
gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
No, I asked that because that's where most competitions start from, within the family, you know. And until you get somebody in the family that actually pushes you, you know. Playing other people's cool, but when you got it constantly in the household, that always brings more out of you.
That's where it starts, because there's nobody that's gonna be more supportive. Even AAU basketball, high school teams, high school coaches, they all gonna be there for you, but your family is your blood. And you know, just like you know, you both are athletes. What can you offer your family members? Everything. And you're gonna do it genuinely from the heart, and you're gonna have their best interest. There's no other support system that is better than just having a family member that's close.
Facts.
Right.
Okay, so for those that don't have the luxury of having family members that hoop, okay, what do you think is the best route for them to try to get that?
The next thing is obviously the coaches. And I think I tried anyway to go back and thank all my coaches, because it's amazing the sacrifice, the things they give up with their own families to teach young girls how to play and about being a young woman. So it's important that they are the next in line, and they mean so much in teaching, and they don't get enough credit, to be honest. The coaches don't. AU, high school coaches, middle school, the people that work with toddlers that have the patience, they don't get enough credit.
Definitely the toddlers.
Yeah, the toddlers, the younger, the little ones,
Man.
the teeny toddlers. If you work with them, kudos to you.
Underpaid.
You are, because they don't get enough credit, because when playing on different teams, there were some things that I could talk to my coach about that I couldn't talk to my mom about.
Right.
So that's another way of speaking values about what a coach means to you when you're playing for a team. So thanks to all the coaches out there.
Salute.
Shout out to y'all.
Our very first episode in season 1 was a shout out to the coaches, because that's how, you know, we became who we are, you know, so salute to that for real. Okay, so then when did Nikki feel like, I'm here, I've arrived? When did you get cold?
I think
She been cold.
She been cold,
straight.
but listen though.
Nah, straight.
But when do you feel like it? Like, when do you feel like it's undeniable, I'm here?
Well, before the championship, like before the Sparks championship, I played on the USA.
Hold on.
Yeah,
It didn't take you that long to feel like you was cold.
I'm telling you, because I was okay. I was good, but I didn't have the work ethic until I got to that point. And for all the young players out there, it's something I want you to remember. You get out of it what you put in. So if you work your tail off, mainly when nobody's watching though, not when everybody's practicing, not when you're training and you're in front of the cameras and the lights and all that. The work starts when the lights is off, you in the gym by yourself, crying, blood, sweat, tears. That's when it starts. And I didn't realize that till too late. Now, I was good, but had I applied myself with the knowledge then, I would have been great. I could have been better, you know, and I appreciate that more now, and that's why I tell all the young people, like, don't take it for granted. Don't try to cheat, because you're going to cheat yourself. You know, you're only cheating yourself. Don't try to get out of drills. Don't try to stop doing something, sneak off on the side, because you're only
Don't try to
cheating
say
yourself.
you got 5 when you got 2.
When you, right.
Hey,
You're
y'all,
cheating
this is a
yourself.
player that is great, telling y'all she could have been great.
That is mind-blowing.
Could have been better.
Nikki, you could have been better.
I could have been better.
That is mind-blowing.
Seriously.
Dog. It's always more you can give.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure you probably know who Eric Thomas is. Eric Thomas is one of my most favorite motivational speakers. And he said, okay, you giving 100, but are you giving 120? And he's like, what does 120 look like? What does 100 look like? So he was like, 100 is doing everything you feel like you can do. And then 120 is doing everything you feel like you can do and then everything the coach feel like you can do, and then some.
And then
I
some.
was like, oh my God.
And then some. Yes,
Oh
sir.
my God.
That's
It
what
made
it
me
is.
question, have I ever given
Right.
120?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, but
Yeah, and you know what? I believe that with you. I think so, E.
I've definitely given 120 before. But anywho, that's mind blowing.
HBSML.
Big facts. So you kind of jumped ahead because you said that when you got to the Sparks is when you really felt like you was good when you won that championship. But when did you start getting recruited?
When I was in junior high, actually. But, I mean, of course, it got heavy.
But you didn't feel like you was good yet.
No, because I didn't understand. I was too young. I didn't understand.
You was like, what is a recruitment?
Right. No, but
What
let
is
me
a
tell
letter?
you, when I got to high school, it was, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful now, but it was overwhelming. Every college in the country was calling, sending letters, emailing, like they wanted me to play for their school. And I say that with so much, I'm humble because now I appreciate that. I didn't understand, but I was at home in the background like this, tell my mom,
I'm not here.
I'm not home. I know
That's
a
a
minute to
good
tell them
feeling.
that. But that's how overwhelming it was. They were calling all the time. It was to a point where there was boxes of letters in my living room, almost covering the front door. That's how serious it was, you know. And I talk about this now, and I'm just like, man, I can't imagine what Kobe, Lisa Leslie, what they went through. Oh my goodness, Candace Parker.
Shout out Leslie.
Yeah.
Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker.
Right.
Nikki gonna get y'all on the show.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get y'all out here.
I'm gonna volunteer her.
Hey.
Y'all gotta come back, cause we had a blast for real. Like we ain't just talk about it.
We did have fun, but no, it was overwhelming. But it's a humbling experience as you get older. You realize that you did something good, and people appreciate that, and they want you to be a part of it. But I'm happy with the decision I made. I love North Carolina. Coach Chapter gave me an opportunity, so I was happy with that.
Man, I'm still processing right now because you said they were overwhelming you. Is it because, do you think it would have been a better process for you if you had somebody who's already been through that to kind of tell you what to expect? Maybe if your coach could have been like, this is what to expect, would it mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when I was getting letters, like I don't have any of my old letters. And I'm salty because now I got a son that I wish I could have been able to show that to, a daughter I wish I could have been able to show that to, but I can't because I didn't hold on to them. I gave some away.
Wow.
Like for real, like they was like, oh, what's the letter look like? Here, look, you look at these. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, because like you said, they weren't of any value to me. Because I was the first person in my family or in my friend group to be in that situation. So how do you feel? What do you think could have made that, you know, a better experience for you to be able to deal with it better?
But this is why. This is a big reason why I do what I do, because, like you said, my coach at that time never experienced anything like
Oh,
that.
man.
He got me because we moved to a different area and we went to a Catholic school, and he's never experienced anything like that. He didn't have players.
So you was
he
like
really
Jesus
didn't know.
Shuttlesworth walking in the gym.
He really didn't know. Coach Kennedy, but he did a great job. So he really didn't know. So like you said, having someone who went through the experience now to go back and tell the other players, like I have so many of my AAU teams, I could tell them now, like this is what happened when I went on my college visit. You know, how many coaches took a college visit? Do you know how many there is? Do you know about the SAT? Do you know
Right.
about clearinghouse? All those things I've experienced. So now when I go back
that
to teach,
clearinghouse.
yeah, the clearinghouse.
That snuck up on me because
It's so
first of all,
much.
I was like, they were like, you got to take the SAT, huh? No, I looked at it. It said SAT, so I'm like, they was like, you got to take the SAT. That's how I read it. What is a SAT? I got to take a SAT. You like, bro, like, what is an act? You know what I'm saying? What is an like? So you speaking facts right now. Like, we don't know what these are if we the first to do it in our generation, our family.
Right, yeah. And then to me, I feel obligated to do it because, like you said, now we have kids, and we would want this for our kids. We would want somebody to come back and teach them. So I really appreciate this more, honestly, than any accolade I ever received in basketball.
Wow. So then, wow. So you was getting recruited in junior high. When did you commit?
I waited to commit because, again, the process was so overwhelming, and I wanted to take my time, and I wanted to go somewhere where my family could still support me. My mom is from North Carolina, so when I went to visit, I took a visit to, my first visit was Penn State down in Pennsylvania, and then my second visit was the University of Virginia, and then my last visit was Carolina. Another thing I want to offer young people, when you're in a situation when you are trying to make a life-changing experience, and you have so many choices, go with your heart. Follow your heart. You will never go wrong. It doesn't matter what happens in between or after. If you follow your heart, I guarantee you'll be satisfied in the end. There's going to be changes anyway, but never make a decision based off of somebody else and what they want for you. At the end of the day, you're going to be a young adult. You have your family to support you and steer you in the right direction, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. Where do you see yourself? Where do you feel like you fit in? Where do you see a future and where you're going? So I think the minute I left Carolina, it was like something that came over me, and I told my mom, I was just like, I belong at that school. I didn't say that's where I want to go. I said I belong there.
It's only because it was a blue blood.
Yeah. So there you go. I got home and I was like, let's make a decision. Let's get this signed off so I can stop getting the letters. Yeah. It's over.
For real though. So when she said that, you know exactly who I thought about?
Who?
Trey. Because when we had Rayford here,
right.
We had Rayford Young here, Trey Young's dad, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to go see that episode. If you ain't seen that episode, go see that episode. Mm. Rayford said, because Trey committed to OU.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He had Kentucky.
I'm sure.
He had Kansas. He had Duke, UConn, among many others.
I like
all
Trey.
the blue bloods.
All of them. But except for North Carolina, he was like, I don't know why North Carolina ain't offer, so you might need to reach out to them.
I had to talk to somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But his dad said he wanted to go to OU. And his dad said, I didn't want him to go to OU. I wanted him to go to Calipari.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sitting there, we like, wow, he chose OU over Calipari. He went with his heart. That's why I brought it up.
There you go.
In his heart, he felt like that was the best move for him. And look at him now.
Set him up great.
Yes,
Look at him
indeed.
now.
Yes,
So to your point, follow your heart and you're going to come out on top. Speaking of coming out on top, seems like you did pretty good, right?
Okay.
Okay. You followed your heart, but did you have any bumps in the road when you got to college, or how did it go for you?
Yes, I had a major bump, for those who don't know. And I don't speak on this much, but I hope to speak on it more. But I went through a very tough time where I was depressed. Every athlete, and you both can attest to this, I'm sure, there's so much pressure when you are expected to be great.
Right. I
was doing so well at one point, and then when the times that I wasn't, it was so disappointing to everybody around me. So it became, I'm tired of disappointing people.
Right.
By the grace of God, I never thought of harming myself, but being depressed is still very depressing. I was in my room. I didn't want to come out, and there was a time where I was like, I don't want to be me anymore. I don't want to be Nikki Teasley. If I do good, everybody's great. They love me. If I do bad, I'm the worst thing in the world.
They shunning you.
They shut me out, so I'm just like, I'm going to stay in here. Y'all go play. I'll never forget. I remember like yesterday, I gathered my shoes, all my practice gear, my uniform, everything that had Carolina basketball on it. I put it in one bag, and I walked to the coach's office, and I dropped the bag at the door, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play no more.
What year college?
This was my junior year.
Oh,
This is my junior year in college, and I told Coach Hatcher, I was like, I don't want to do it. Went back to my room, locked myself in my room, put a barricade up against the door so nobody can get in.
You was for real,
This is real talk.
That's movie style. You
Real
was depressed.
Depressed. And everybody was trying their best to talk to me. And what people don't know is my family from since I was a teeter to now has supported me through everything. And at the drop of a dime, if I was going through anything, they would come up there. The minute that this came out, they was at my door 7 hours later. They drove, everybody stopped what they was doing, and they drove down to Carolina. I'm talking about bawling, crying in the room with my brother, crying on my mom's lap. Like, I just don't want to do it. And they let me understand that it's okay to feel sad that you disappoint people. It's okay. But it's not okay to stay in that, because somebody else is going to be going through that too. And you need to show them that you can be strong and get through it so they can get through it.
Man.
That's legit.
So it's not enough awareness with mental illness and athletes being depressed. And there needs to be more talk about it, because it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. And for me, it's like, shoot, we've been there. Like, I've been there when I had to walk away from the game. You know what I'm saying?
tore my Achilles.
When you tore your Achilles.
Get injured,
You know, when I had knee surgery. Like, we've all been there. But for you to have that support for them to get in the car and haul ass down there.
80, 90 miles an hour.
To get down there. And I'm just glad you're touching on that, because people need to know the real. Because when you're as good as you are, as good as he was, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to get to a point where, like, I don't know how Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, I don't know how they did, like, to stay great that long.
Telling you.
And like LeBron takes a lot of it still. Even
Still.
as soon as he loses a championship, it's like,
I don't know how y'all do it, Nikki.
I just want
I'm
my
one of the
respect.
biggest haters. Too.
I just
I
want
just
my.
want
hold
my
on,
respect.
I'm one of the
forget
biggest
something.
haters.
I just, I just want my damn
I want
respect.
my damn respect.
My man.
I left that out.
Listen, I was
just want my
watching
damn
it.
respect.
I was watching it, and when he said that, I immediately was like, "Oh, let's go!" I felt that.
Man.
I thought about you instantly.
I know you did.
No, but Nick though, like, for real, to be able to come out of that, and you're sitting here with us today, that's a testament to your character. You know, because you said by the grace of God, you didn't think about harming yourself, but there are others that, you know, quite frankly, they get them thoughts. You know, unfortunately, you know, so you know, just anybody out there, if you're ever in that situation, we've all been there, and you probably know plenty of people that's been there. Okay, there's people out there that care about you. You definitely should reach out to them. You know, it's not something that you get through on your own. You might think it's gonna go away, but don't chance it. It might just go away.
It might.
You know, but don't chance it, because you are loved and there are people out there that care about you, right? So how long did it take you to come up out of that?
Well, I mean, with our community, and I'll say with our community, folks that looks like us.
For sure.
The problem is, we don't like to feel like or say that. And I'm just gonna say
It's not
bluntly.
normalized.
It's well, I ain't crazy. I don't need no therapy. This is the way we think, you know. And then I say we, us, you know. Unfortunately,
Black folks.
there you go.
Let's go. I got you.
Hey,
African American.
say how you want to say it,
With
girl.
your chest.
Say it with
Please say it.
So I mean, and unfortunately, you know, for a long time, because that's the way that my family was, that's what I believed in too. Like, I ain't crazy. I don't need no
Gotta
help.
be
Like,
strong.
don't give me. But the minute that this went on, my family got together with Coach Hatchell and other professionals, and I started going to therapy. You know, of course, there's medication that come along with that, and I was never big on taking medication, but sometimes in certain situations, you need help. You know,
Right.
you need help. So to be able
When
to do
your
that,
knee hurt, you take some.
you take pain medication.
You know
so
what
it's
I'm
just
saying?
you get that medicine, and really the main thing is having the therapy, because now you're talking to somebody who's been doing this for a while. This is their professional field, and they're giving you their professional opinion and their professional help. So he has no idea who I am, Nikki
Right.
Teasley. So he's not giving, you just need to go out there so you can benefit the school so they can
Right.
keep winning. It was, no, I'm going to focus on you, the person,
Somebody independent.
independently, and I'm going to get you well. You tell me anything, we talk about anything. So for those players that are ashamed, or anybody that's ashamed to say that you need help, don't be. Don't be, because when you get that help, you're going to feel so much better. And the bigger picture is, now you're going to help somebody else. So remember that.
And I feel like now it's I feel like them cases that get more heavier, because, you know, kids are getting a lot more spotlight at a younger age.
Right.
And a lot more weight on their back at younger age. So when they actually get to college, where it's a big level and they don't bust like they supposed to, I feel like more of that stuff will happen because, just the spotlight's out there harder. So
Real talk. And I just want to elaborate on the fact that, when we get physical injuries, it's not even an afterthought about getting, a Band-Aid. It's not an afterthought about getting an ankle brace, taking an ibuprofen. Man, my stomach lining jacked up. I done took so many ibuprofen. Like, for that's a whole other story. But, like, listen, like, I don't even, shout out to Chris Drug Express. They give me the topical cream to put on my injuries. He give me the topical cream to put on my injuries, and it's like basically, it's better than icy hot. It's like ibuprofen cream. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, it get into your joints or whatever. Anyways, like, we do all that, but when it's time to tell somebody we having these thoughts and we're not feeling ourselves today, it's just not normalized.
It's not.
And we got to do a better job in our community in saying it's okay. Like, man, like, for real, like, it's okay that you felt like crying today. Like, it's okay that you did cry today. It's okay because you might feel better because you got it out and you didn't hold it in because you thought you had to be tough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, I shout out to you for even letting that out because
definitely
people need to hear that.
Absolutely.
People need to hear that, right? So you get through that, right? Did you go for 30 your next game? I need to know.
Well, I'm definitely curious before we get to the 30. Was it just, I want to know what really got you in that kind of, mode. Did you have a good first freshman, sophomore year and then just junior year started out bad or?
Well, I was rookie of the year my freshman year. My sophomore year wasn't too bad either. I had a decent year my sophomore year. I think I still hold the record for 3-pointers and assists at Carolina. So I did pretty well. It wasn't that. I think towards the end, I was playing with USA Basketball, and then I started feeling like my body was tired. I was breaking down, And because of that, of course, you're not training as hard. You're slacking off, so you're not performing as well. And then my junior year, before the season even started, I was just like, I couldn't make the mile run. That was another thing. Couldn't make the mile run.
Junior year?
In 6 minutes. Yeah, I think you had to make the mile run in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
He said, that's tough.
Doing that in high school.
Yeah, right. That's tough. I know I couldn't do it now either, but back then was hard as well, even when I was in good shape, you know. So
6 minutes is legit.
Yeah, 6 minutes is tough. But it's more mentally than it is physically.
Right.
Because when you're training and you're doing it repeatedly, your body is
your body
used
knows.
to it. Yeah, your body knows, right?
Used to it.
So you're able to put yourself through that and get through it. But mentally, if you tell yourself you're not going to do it, pretty much you're not going to do it. Right? So I started feeling like, okay, well, I'm not as good, or I'm not going in the direction that I need to go. I didn't make this mile run. I didn't make this many shots. And we talked about that today at the camp.
Right.
I had 10 turnovers the last 4 practices. Stop being positive mentally, telling myself that, I'm not going to be as good. I'm not going to be the player that everybody wants me to be. We go to our exhibition game. I have a bag. I think I had like 2 points. I was 2 for 12 or something like that. I had 4 points. Sorry, I was 2 for 12. And it was just like one of those things. I was like, man, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to disappoint everybody.
So was this basically the first time you actually had some adversity?
With the game?
With the game, yes. I will say. This was the first time.
I mean, because you're experiencing success probably going on 7-8 years in a row.
Right. I'm high school player of the year.
That's tough.
In the country. I was like, okay, I never ran into anything like that. The double teams, the triple teams, taking the ball away from
the boxing ones, the denials.
The boxing ones was just like, all that is just messing with my mind. You know what? I ain't doing as good as I used to. Let me just step away for a while and come back. And by the grace of God, when I did take that, I stopped school for a year.
Oh, I didn't.
I went home. I took the year off because Coach Hatchell, she helped me get professional help. And then she told me, take some time off. Work on yourself, get yourself better, and when you're ready, your scholarship will be waiting right here. You come back.
That's dope.
Man, so I went home, started working construction, getting up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, working with a good buddy.
Immediately you was like,
what? Time to go back.
Immediately you was
Depression
like,
gone.
I'm cured. It's time.
I'm happy. Thank you, Jesus.
Man, who you telling?
I know. No, for real, because like I said,
ain't fun.
But it's like I said earlier at the camp, like, why am I so happy to be in here with y'all? Because a lot of people don't get to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fortunately, you were able to willingly go back and do construction. There are people, it's over for them, and then they gotta go do construction.
Right.
You know, so they can't feel better, you know, work through it and come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man,
Like,
I got to
so,
tell you, it was hard though.
Oh man.
I was like, wow. And then after that, you know, and each moment, it's so much education and growing and being taught. Like I was taught then that, like you said, I started to appreciate, like, oh, I can go to school, get a free education from a very prestigious university for free, right?
man.
And then I could play basketball, something that I love to do, that I've been loving to do since I was 6 years old. So to go back and have that lesson taught was something that I appreciate now. And the fact that Coach Hatchell was able to believe in me and allow me the time to work on myself. And understand. And allow me to come back. Yeah,
because a lot of people would have been selfish.
Yeah.
And, you know, they wouldn't have been that supportive.
Yeah.
I think that's dope that you had a coach at that level, because maybe she did deal with it with a player before.
She's still playing? She's still coaching?
No, she's not coaching Carolina anymore. But
Man,
yeah,
shout out. Golly.
Yeah, 'cause she might, you know, that's high blue blood level. So, you know, she's had players, and maybe she had to deal with it before. So it was good that she had that, so she was able to help you really get through it.
She definitely helped me, and I appreciate her. And I told her that. I actually gave her a phone call and told her that.
Well, we're going to have to send this to her. We're going to have to send this to her, all right? Yeah, no doubt. So, last question about this part of your life, right? Were you already a WNBA prospect? I feel like you are, but I want to ask anyways. Were you already a WNBA prospect at this point before you decided to walk away?
Yeah, I believe so. Not as, you know, not after I came back, because after I came back, it all changed. Because again, when you go through something like that, it's like, okay, now I understand my trigger points. I understand now how to cope with it. So when I started feeling down, I reverted back to what makes me happy, what makes me not feel like that, right? So you're going through depression. It's important to find your trigger points and your coping mechanisms, right?
Your positive coping mechanisms.
Yeah, positive coping. So the trigger points was, you know, I had a disappointing game. I didn't do well. I didn't shoot the ball well. And all athletes go through this. Everybody don't play well every game, right?
So I go to the men's league. No, I'm just go ahead.
So if I have a bad game, you know, and I disappointed a few people, and some fans are not so nice and say some things that really get to you as a young person. So I went to what makes me happy, what makes me not feel like that, and it always came back to basketball. I'm always at that. Basketball has never hurt me. People disappointed me. People hurt me.
For sure.
Basketball has never. I will get off the bus.
That is fact.
If I feel like I was triggered, everybody go in, put their stuff in the locker room. I go back. I wait till everybody leave. I change my clothes. I go out there in the gym 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Until you get yourself right.
Until I get myself right. But I'm also getting better.
Hey, 2 for 1 special.
You know?
Like we like to say, 2 for $1.
So it's once I discovered that helped me become an even better WNBA prospect, I think.
Well, I'm also gonna shout out construction, because I know that probably helped her out a lot too in the decision.
Yeah, construction was good. Look, I got stronger lifting than
I'm like, I ain't gonna do this construction. This ain't fun.
Yeah.
Hold on, one thing we didn't even touch on. You got to go do that construction and come back stronger, right? But you also are a 6'1" guard, or are you 6'2"?
6'2".
6'2" guard that came back stronger.
Wow.
That's a nightmare for the defender.
Man, listen, I'm just thankful that I had enough people to be able to support me and help me through the toughest time in my life, probably at that age. You know, it's important. That's I was telling somebody at the camp today. Building relationships and having a support system is so important, because nothing you do in life, I don't care what job you work. And shout out to construction. Not that it was all bad. I'm not saying construction is bad.
My stepdaddy a construction worker.
Yeah. So it's definitely a good company to work for. Any construction company, and they do great things with building our world around us.
Big facts.
To have a support system is so important, because you can't really do anything by yourself.
No.
You will always, at some point, depend on somebody.
I mean, That's like the construction workers. They need each other to build that house. Shout out to y'all.
Or a team.
For real though, you
Right.
can't do anything by yourself.
Seriously.
You couldn't get through that by yourself. Your support system helped you through it, and now you're back. What kind of senior season did you have?
I did okay my senior season. Well enough to get drafted 5th overall.
Oh,
Hey. It gets better.
I did okay, I guess.
shame on them first 4 teams. Shame on you.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember who passed you up?
No,
I'm sure
man.
you remember at least 2 of them.
Oh my goodness. No, I remember the one I was drafted to, and their team folded. Portland Fire, 5th overall, and the team folded. But I was traded before the draft was over. It was funny. Like, we were all outside, my family, because it's so nerve-wracking. You sitting in the green room, it's like, okay, what they gonna call my
Right.
name? Like, okay. Even though you're good, it's still nerve-wracking.
Right.
But we get outside, the draft is over. And I think Val Ackerman and Renee Brown at the time was president, vice president. They run out, was like, Nikki, come back in. There's been a trade. Me and my family, we like, get
Y'all
in the
didn't even
car.
get to celebrate yet.
We get in the car, we get ready to go celebrate, get something to eat. And it was like, you've been traded to Los Angeles. I said, what?
That sound like a Kobe.
Look, you got juice. Look.
I always wanted to go to LA.
They did you a favor.
They did me a favor. And then, shortly thereafter, that next year, the Portland Fire folded anyway. So it wasn't the next year, it was before I got to LA.
Yeah.
It was before I got to LA. So, God is good, man. Who knows what would have happened? You know?
Right.
That could have changed everything.
Right, they could have folded, and none of y'all would have got picked up. Who knew? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow. This story is phenomenal already.
I ain't gonna lie, we done had some hot draft picks on this show.
Haven't we? We doing some things right.
Y'all living right. That's what they
We
tell me.
doing some things right.
Man.
Golly. All right. So, see, get back caught up here. So you get to LA. First of all, is it the dream? Going from North Carolina
Hollywood.
to Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, man, I'm telling you.
And did you play right away as a rookie?
I did. I was lucky enough to play with the best player in the game, as you know, Lisa Leslie.
Shout out Lisa Leslie, come on the show.
But more than being a player, she was still is an amazing person, man. Amazing woman. She took me in, showed me the ropes. As a college athlete, you think you coming out of college, you played all these years, and like, oh man, this, and I probably could say this for the NBA too. I've never been to the NBA, obviously, but
you did play in the TBT.
as a college player, you think you're good enough, but the reality is, Lisa Leslie has way more experience than me than the WNBA. So I was good in my own right, but her experience made her a lot better than me, not just athletically, but as far as knowing the game.
IQ.
Right? You think about even the NBA, this championship game. Let's say LA and Miami.
Right.
How much experience did that Miami team have over LeBron and those other guys who've already
Rondo.
been and won?
So
Rondo,
much. Great.
those many years. So it makes a difference when you have that much experience. So I was grateful.
Even McGee.
Yeah, even McGee.
Howard.
McGee's one. Howard.
Even though
one
they
else.
didn't play as much, I
Yeah.
bet they were in them young players' ears,
Yeah.
giving them knowledge.
Giving them knowledge and actually helping them to learn what to expect in a situation like this. Because we all know playoffs come, that's the new season. It's game time. It's go time.
Different breed,
It's a
too.
different breed, So with that, I was grateful for her and that. And then Michael Cooper, who's very funny. That was one of my favorite
Ain't he
coaches.
still coaching?
Michael Cooper is one of my favorite coaches. Oh,
Bald
my
head,
goodness.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Played with the Lakers. And then Carlene Thompson, who was an assistant coach, but those two, between them. And shout out to the whole team, really, because our first five, I would put against anybody back in our time. I thought we were really good. Mawadi Mabika.
Would you put? Go ahead, finish.
Mawadi
up.
Mabika, Tamika Dixon, Lisa Leslie, Delisha Milton-Jones, and myself.
Would you put that five you just mentioned, against Candace and Agamuke's 5?
Absolutely. And we will rock them. 20 years ago.
We ain't talking about right now.
No, we ain't talking about right now. We talking about back then.
Okay, Candace. Okay, CP3. Okay.
Challenge.
I need your rebuttal. Yes, we do.
So shout out to those ladies.
Nah, they cold.
They are very
they
good.
cold.
Very good.
But you can't say what you just said if you ain't cold yourself. And
Right.
you are, so
Facts.
run it up. Run it up. All right, man. Cool. So your rookie year, you get to play, you rocking out. When did that championship come?
A championship. So that was something I've never experienced before. Because I played, of course, I never won a championship with North Carolina. Didn't win in high school. So to get there, my first year, my rookie year, I'm in a championship game.
Oh, hold on. What?
Yeah.
That happened the first year?
My rookie year. But I'm going to back up even further.
No wonder she putting that 5 up.
So something that happened that was very spiritually moving now that I think about it. So as you know, I'm backing up. So before you go to the NBA or the WNBA, there's a combine. So you go there, you work out, you get the coaches to come look at you. They get a chance to talk to you, somewhat like being recruited, right? So I sit down with Michael Cooper, Colleen Thompson, and at the time, Penny Toller, who was the GM, PT, shout out to PT. I sit down with them and they give me a scenario. So they say, so Nikki, game winning shot, down by 2, couple seconds on the clock. Who you giving the ball to? I said, duh, Lisa Leslie, the best player on the court. Of course I'm giving the ball to her.
We played this clip for you guys.
We sure did.
So, like, duh, Lisa Leslie. It's like, Coop was like, okay, well, what if Lisa ain't open? And I was like, okay, the next best player was Mwadi Wabika at the time.
Right.
I said, I'm giving it to Wadi. I'm giving it up to Wadi. He's like, what if Wadi ain't open? And I was like, well, I'm going to shoot it. What you mean? I'm telling you, if you look at the play, the way he drew up the play was cross screen for Lisa coming to the ball. I'm on the wing. That was my first option. They took that away. The next was down screen for Wadi coming to the top for a 3. We was down by 2.
They took that
They
away.
took that away. And thank you, Teresa Witherspoon. She backed up in Lisa's lap, and I had a clear shot, and I shot it.
Oh, my
It
gosh.
happened the exact same way that they said months ago before the championship game.
In the
It
combine.
was like you looked at him and was like,
And I told them afterwards, like, that is amazing. So I was like, people should pay attention to some things that coaches say and tell them because it could happen just like
That's
that.
crazy. Because I'm thinking about that play. Because we played that clip, you know, as a part of the camp,
get
you know,
people
the
to
camp
know who
intro.
you
or
was.
whatever.
Yeah, know you
And
was.
so, you know, I remember you trying to force feed
Yep.
her. You trying to force feed her.
and you realize she back. Oh,
And then you
back
trying to
up.
go here.
it was like you looked at her like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a fool.
Oh, my God.
Clear. That was amazing. And it was a good feeling. That was my first time ever winning a championship.
So this was rookie year.
This is my rookie year. And the best part about it was my mom
I'm
and
getting
all my
chills,
brothers were in the stands.
Laugh.
And that was the best feeling because through everything, they've always been there. So for them to experience that with me, I was so happy.
Game winning shot at the buzzer for the ship, bro. As a rook, bro. Coming off of the
got
pressure.
That's a
lucky.
dream.
I got lucky.
Coming
That's
off of
a
the
dream.
No, but like testament though. It's a
Nah.
testament.
Nah.
You fought through that adversity.
There you go.
You fought through that. You got through that. You came back. You ain't run away from the grind. You came back to it and was rewarded. The basketball guys exist, bro.
They do.
And it's
But-
even doper talking to a person who lived. That's a dream.
That's
You
a
sleep,
dope.
wake up in your dream, smiling back at. So she lived it. That-
Hey, no lie. What is that? Friday, I dreamt that my stocks hit 65,000.
Right.
My little stocks I got. That's like that's like her stocks. She woke up one day, her stocks hit
What?
65,000 or whatever is a big number to you. 65,000 is a big number to me. You know what I'm saying? So
goodness.
that is fire. That is, oh man, I feel like the show should end like right now. but I got more
I
questions.
think she got more stories to tell.
I got more.
I think she got more stories
I'm
to
running
tell.
out. I'm running out.
I got more. We can't stop right now. We can't stop. So, when were you was this the same year you were All-Star?
Yes. This is the
Same year you were All-Star MVP?
No, I'm sorry. That was the next year. I'm sorry. I was in next year. Next year I was All-Star MVP. So that was my second year. So the first year I won the championship, and then the next year I won the MVP.
You were all-star.
And I wasn't
all-star
even,
MVP.
you know what the crazy part is? I wasn't even picked as an all-star. Somebody got hurt. And then I got into the all-star game.
The Cinderella story continues.
And it was crazy. I was like, and somebody brought that to my attention the other day. And I was like, you know what? That is so true. I wasn't even picked. I got in because my teammate, Tamika Dixon, got injured like 2 games before, and it was said that she wasn't going to play.
Right.
And that's how I got into the All-Star game, and then I wound up getting MVP. And guess who was there? My mom and my brother. In the stands, I was like this.
Hey, I'm doing an R&B. I'm doing an R&B point.
Man,
That's what she just did.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't even say Hey, no.
You don't understand, man. Family over everything is so important because they really do. They really have my back. They still do. And now I have the same support with my 2 little ones.
Yeah. I remember seeing some of them highlights. You was dropping dimes.
Yeah.
Lisa Leslie actually called you the female Magic Johnson.
No, oh my goodness, no, I'm not even worthy, man. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Man.
You had that dime package though. Like on 2K, your dime package would have started up on like a 95.
You probably had a grand badge, purple badge.
Hall of Fame.
Y'all better talk to my son about that.
Alright, well,
Just ask, what's the Hall of Fame badge? Oh, mama, that's this one, right?
oh, mama, you cold. That's what he gonna say. He probably ain't know how much of a goat you were, but when he hear us say you got a purple badge,
Yeah, that'll let him know, right?
yeah, he
No,
don't know.
definitely. How old is he?
He's 10.
10.
Oh, yeah.
10, yeah.
It's gonna
Purple badge,
He's
mama.
on-
I
You
don't
ain't got
know, mama.
You ain't got no purple badge.
boosted, mama.
I'm like, can you look up and see what type of badge I have?
Yeah, see,
That's a
I'm
dime
back.
package.
It's a Hall of Fame. It's legendary. Legendary. Man, that is phenomenal. That is just so phenomenal. So when did you? I'm fast forwarding a little bit because I got so many questions and I just can't ask them all, right?
Yeah, all night.
I mean, we just gonna have to probably do. I think that's what we'll do. You know, sometime after this comes out, we'll do IG live or something.
Okay.
You know, cause we gonna have they just coming, right? So, anyways, when did you walk away from the game?
After I had my son. So you have children. It's important to make sure that you're a part of monumental moments in their life.
Right.
You know, the first time I missed my daughter, like her first step.
Right.
You know, then I missed, when she took a couple more steps, like she first started walking.
Right.
And then the same thing happened with my son. And I
Luckily,
was
my son waited till 13 months, so I ain't missed.
Oh, you had to give her time.
He waited a long time.
Not me. My daughter was ready to get going.
Yeah.
But I was 5 months pregnant with my son in Detroit. So before the Tulsa Shock became Tulsa Shock, it was Detroit Shock. Right, so I was with Detroit before that. So when I was 5 months pregnant with him, that very next year, I played for about 1.5 years, and I was like, I really don't want to miss a lot in his life, like I did with my daughter with the traveling. And I had a nanny traveling with me also. But I'm the type of parent that I want to be there. I want to be involved. I want to be the one that's doing those things hands-on, right?
Not the nanny.
Not the nanny. And I mean, she did an awesome job. She was really good. But I didn't want to have that experience with my son. And I also didn't want to continue to cheat my daughter, right? So I was like, to make a decision, I think that was the right decision I made at that time.
So how many years did you play?
I played in Puerto Rico after that a little bit with them. And I took them over, but it was like a couple months after that.
Copy.
Yeah.
I know you went overseas some, besides Puerto Rico, right?
Yes, I played all over. I started out in Russia, Turkey, Korea. I had a really good season in Korea. Hungary, I did really well in Hungary. And also in Spain. But of course, you play all over when you play in those places.
Right.
So I had some great experiences with those teams and those organizations too.
So, does the WNBA have a like a pension package? Like I hear, I don't know what is it in NFL, 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6.
And I think in the NBA it's 10. Does the WNBA have something similar?
At the time when I retired, no. But I recently, they just signed a new collective bargaining agreement. I don't know what that entails. other than the 500,000 maximum. And I just want to say, when was that?
Yeah.
We were playing.
For real. Commish.
Yeah, I would love to have had some of that. But no, that speaks volumes about how much the game has grown, and not only that, how much support that WNBA is receiving.
Speaking of, that's our next question, Twan. What do you think needs to happen for the game of the WNBA, for the WNBA game, to get paid more on a much smaller scale? Y'all gonna think I'm petty. I feel like women that be like, oh, women's sports don't get paid enough, blah, blah, blah. Your dude gonna sit there and watch whatever you put on to watch.
Facts.
Like, for real, like, I remember.
So you're saying that women need to watch it more?
No, like, for real,
Yeah,
like,
that's true,
support it more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many times I got caught up watching Lifetime.
Right. Days of Our Lives.
Days, all my children.
Oh my God.
Like,
For real.
you feel me? Like, even with my mom, like, I'm sitting there with my mom and I gotta sit there and watch General Hospital.
Yeah.
You know, like, and, you know, I'm like, oh, these soap operas ain't bad, but this is now, I can say that now, I'm older, I'm more mature. But I'm sitting there, like, tuned in, like, yo, he doing her dirty.
Right. Like,
What? Oh, don't talk to him.
You feel me? Like, so women that feel like, oh, it's, you know, we being cheated, blah, blah, blah. Support it.
Mm-hmm.
You put it on in your house. You put it on and you're gonna be like, let's watch this game. Cause we gonna put it on and make our women watch the basketball NBA game with us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, babe, I'm gonna order some food. Let's watch the playoffs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no different cause you sit there and watch it. Yo, they cold.
Mm-hmm.
They got game.
That's it.
So, go
it's
ahead.
crazy because you asked the question at the camp today. How many of y'all watch women? Y'all, these is girls. And I don't think less than half of them raised their hand. And I'm thinking in my head, like, how y'all want to play this game and y'all don't even watch people who are your gender play it.
Right.
You can't watch NBA and think you're going to do NBA things.
Right.
This
Very
one's
very few can pass like you and dunk like LeBron.
Right. Hey, that's true.
Just
Big facts.
It's hard to catch because I was thinking like, well, I mean, that's how I got better, watching what I wanted to
Emulating.
watch.
Right.
How you gonna get better if you don't do? And you know these girls didn't play every day, so it's like, what are you really watching to get better?
Right. Well, to your credit though, and I guess it goes along with how can you make it better? How can you make a scene more? Well, how are we gonna watch it if it's not on TV like that? So being able to maybe get a better TV deal or sponsor
Right.
where it is shown more on
Right.
TV, and there's more resources for young girls to be able to be interactive with it.
But with YouTube Live now, you know, not even YouTube TV, I'm talking about like live YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can really put something on live if it ain't nationally televised. Now everybody everywhere can go watch it.
I wonder if this is reaching, but like, how many women's NBA teams is there?
12. Don't quote me. 8 to 10 when I started, so I know there's a few more.
I feel like it's 18. I feel like it's
Probably
18.
Because I was thinking, what if
No.
they played
18,
maybe
I don't think it's that many.
games?
Don't
back-
put that on because I don't know. I don't know. How do I not know? Let me see. Wait a minute.
It's 12, you were right.
12, okay. That's what I'm
You
going
were
to say.
right. We gonna
It was
put
8 when
that
I
on there
started.
because
It was 8
you was
when
right.
I started and then
I
12.
would think of maybe some primetime games if they could get teams to play before the NBA game or something.
That's been
To
a discussion.
I feel like that would probably help a little bit. Maybe, I mean, not
Varsity.
same, but like JV
Yeah.
varsity
Yeah.
situation. Like,
It ain't even like JV varsity. It's like high school basketball.
Right.
You know, the girls varsity played and the boys varsity
yeah,
played.
so I was thinking like maybe that would help ratings because, you know,
That's facts.
we watch and even though it's boxing, we'll watch the undercards box to get to the main event. So I feel like more people probably watch. Okay, let's watch some women's NBA before the NBA.
My boys, hey.
Yeah,
I know it might
Joking.
be reaching, but
No,
hey,
that's
no.
a gym.
There's been a lot of discussion about, and I've said that before, plenty of times. I said that before. But then the question then bears, how do you determine what the tickets were? And then do you make WNBA fans leave and then re-enter for the NBA game?
Right.
Or do you let them all stay and then now those seats are already taken? So it was a lot to go into that. But I said that too a long time ago. That would be an awesome thing to do. But it was so much pushback, like the questions I just had. So what do you do? Instead of making it work, it was like devil advocate. Okay, well, we got to kick everybody out. Why would you kick everybody out?
You
They
right,
already
do
got
it,
tickets,
right.
you know? but then losing that revenue for the NBA.
Honestly, I think that would obviously, bring in more first come, first serve. It's like a concert. You want that front row seat, you're going to get there early.
Ooh,
so, I mean, hey, if I know that LeBron playing tonight, Nikki Teasley playing tonight, them is two great players.
And if I don't come for the Nikki Teasley game, I ain't seeing LeBron.
You hear me? So, it's like you said, that's marketing.
Let's go. I'm with that.
I'm with that too.
Commish.
Either way, y'all gonna make y'all money for the gym.
Man.
They will. So I know there's ways that they can. I feel like they don't want to put as much effort in.
Man. NBA and WNBA, y'all listening? Put y'all heads together so we can make this happen.
Let's make it do what it do. Man, wow, we just really came up with a whole deal to say the basketball world. We just did, though.
Cause I just think of ways to preach for what about the girl dads? As a hooper, yeah, you're gonna always want to push your son to go play sports because they're gonna make great money that way. But there's really not no sports to push your daughter to do where you're gonna make enough to take care of the whole village.
That's true.
So it's like, why not put them in positions? I mean, we're supposed to talk about equal everything. Right. So find something to put them in position instead of having to be a lawyer or a doctor too. Sports world is for everybody. Everybody loves sports.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Wow. I'm enlightened. Absolutely. I knew what you said. They know, right? You know what I'm saying?
Great minds.
Yeah, for sure. So, being that you have so many AAU teams, what confidence did you get from the game of basketball? How did that help your confidence? And how are you able to instill that into your own teams?
A lot of life is about confidence. A lot is about...
What's your AAU team, by the way?
Team assists. And first, let me go. In the beginning, it started off as Team Teasley assists. Every athlete will tell you they want their stuff. You got Melo, you got Durant, Team Durant,
Griffin.
Griffin. Everybody's naming their teams. And it's good because people recognize the name and associate it with the organization. But after sitting down with my family, I discussed that I didn't want it to be about me. I don't want it to be about my last name. So let's make it something else so people can focus more on the girls and not on the fact that, that's Nikki's team.
I'm coming here for you.
Yeah,
instead of for me.
Right. I want them to focus on the girls. So we changed the name from Teasley Assist to Team Assist. So that's our name now.
This is why she has a Hall of Fame badge of Dime. Her team is even called Assist.
Is it the purple badge?
It's the purple badge. Hall of Fame purple badge.
I'm going to write that down. I'm going to ask my son.
The team is named after a pass.
That's cold, boy. That is legit.
Change the jerseys to purple.
Yeah.
Change the jerseys to purple.
What color they are now?
They're purple and gold.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
For real though. Because I won the championship with the Los Angeles Sparks, I thought that I would keep it.
Because you got the purple badge.
Yeah, because I got, I don't know.
That's crazy.
She almost admitted to
everything goes.
No, you got the purple badge. It's not even a discussion. If he says different, call me. And I'm going to convince him that it's the fact of life. All right, so 14 AAU teams, how do you basically relay that to them, that basketball gave me so much confidence, gave me so much in my life, and I want to direct that towards y'all.
That's why I went back and thanked the coaches that coached me, because even the male coaches, well, now a lot of people are looking for more female coaches, because it is important that as a female, not only do I understand what you're going through, I probably already been through it myself.
Right.
So
shoot, all the teachers, majority of the teachers is women.
That's true.
Because, they used to being moms. Right. Most of them, they just have that teaching heart.
Right.
It's the same thing, I assume, from the coaching perspective.
Right. So, part of that was just being able to understand that it's not just about basketball. I learned how to be who I am through the sport, and we're talking about this today. This is funny because, I used to fuss about getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going to games like, wow, we got to play so early. This is crazy. But that little bit of discipline, that little bit of mental toughness and getting up early, for anybody that works a normal job, everybody know that, listen, you got to get up 8, 9 o'clock, get yourself together. And if you have to be there at 8, you need to be getting up at 7 to get yourself together.
Minimum.
So that's important. So that's even learning that. So if we had practice at 9 o'clock, if you got there at 9 o'clock and you was putting your shoes on and just getting on the court, you late.
You definitely late.
You late.
Not only are you late, you might have a bad practice
That's
because
true, too.
now you a step behind. Now you ain't get that extra stretch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a domino effect.
Full stretch.
So much. So that started me to say, well, the things that I've learned in my life through basketball, how can I go back and tell other young girls, like, look, you may go through this, but this is what I did, or this is what I went through, and hopefully maybe, you'll have a different path to success than I did. It's not that, I'm not thankful for my success, and I faced some things in my life that I don't want my kids to go through. Because again, some things now, I'm just gonna be honest with you, some things you're gonna have to experience in life to know that you shouldn't be doing it, or you should continue to do it.
Right.
So to be able to instill the confidence that really, as young women, we are so powerful. We're so powerful, but we're also, and I always say this, so thankful to the men. Like, look at you two young men out here coaching young girls and also giving them confidence, but also building up that support system that they need, because that's important too. Because it is all about, it is about you feeling comfortable and doing something. If you felt like you couldn't do it, you probably wouldn't do it, right?
Right.
So it's important that you go back and tell them, like, look, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Right.
You can do anything you put your mind to. So I'm grateful, and I'm thankful to go back and do that. I'm thankful it was done for me, and now I'm able to do it for someone else.
Right.
Made me feel good today. One of the girls was like, I'm nervous. I don't. Just do it. She started hitting the jumper. I seen her smile. I said, see?
There you go.
Yeah, she ain't know she could do it before.
And she gonna remember that.
And she gonna remember you. You was texting me, why I gotta do the shooting station? Cause you can shoot,
I was joking anyway. I knew you were putting me. When I seen the list, I was like, yeah, he gonna put me at the shoot station.
He already told me that, oh yeah, he could shoot. He'll do shooting. He gonna be good.
For real. So, alright, so we had all the fun, right? Let's address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is social justice. It's something that been around, and as of late, it's caught some traction. Thankful that it caught. Oh, hey, by the way, check out my shirt. That's random. All right.
That was random.
I saw his shirt and I was like,
getting serious. Like, okay,
I saw his shirt. I can't never be too serious. I saw his shirt. I was like, man, that's a pretty dope shirt. Oh, I got the same shirt on. All right, boom. The elephant in the room is a little bit smaller now because we just took the edge off, right? Social justice. I am so thankful yet so scared because it's such a major issue right now. It's so highlighted right now because we're seeing all the hate as a result of our awareness, So I'm not even gonna give you a starting point. What's your take on everything that's going on right now?
I mean, just what you said. Unfortunately, it's a lot of hate, and this is another reason why I decided to take this step also, because I love what I do. Right? I'm passionate about basketball. That's what we need. We need to show these kids that love conquers all.
Yep.
Right? We're going to love you. We're going to teach you. We're going to be passionate. We're going to give you courage. We're going to instill confidence in you. But it's like you said, it's scary. I have a son.
I have a son.
I can't imagine.
I have a son.
You have a son. I can't imagine the terror that you go through every day. But also, I appreciate your strength, and it gives me hope too. And y'all gotta understand that as African American men, like African American women, we look up to you. We look to be strong from you. So if we afraid and we succumb to this hate, it will deplenish all of us. So we're counting on you to stand up, and we're gonna support you in doing that.
I ain't even trying to go too deep, but this is why they try to remove the men from the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you said that we give you hope. And for me, it's like all the stuff I went through, you know, from harassment by police, harassment by, you know, other hateful white people. Not all, because I got some people, man, they love me.
Yeah. And
I love me some them. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. If I start naming people, I'm gonna forget somebody. You know what I mean?
Don't do that.
But, you know, like, I never think about the people that hated me and treated me wrong so much until I had my son. Then it's like all of them individual memories just start coming back. Man, they put me in cuffs here because I fit the description. Man, you know, they pulled me over here, searched my body for tattoos. Now till this day, I ain't got no tattoos because they traumatized me, you know, aggressively searching my body, throwing me against the car, you know, supposedly talking on a radio, Santello has tattoos here, here, and here, like, and I'm here, I'm like, what? Like, so many, I can go on and on and on, you know? And now I got a son, you know? And one of the thoughts that I'm having is, do we move to, y'all don't think I'm crazy, I don't know. Do we move to an all-white neighborhood? Do we move to this place, that place, so that, you know, you're not in a situation where, you know, you gonna get pulled over by people that don't know you. Like, we live in Norman right now. Norman's a small town. And while I do want to be around more diversity, I'm like, I've been in Norman long enough that I feel like
I know it.
They might even know me to an extent.
I feel like they do.
To where, you know, my son may have an ounce of protection because we've been around, and by the time he gets older, hoping we done been around even longer to where, you know, I can be more at ease. Mm-hmm. These are the thoughts that are going on through my mind among many others. So you say we give you hope, and I'm glad we can do that, you know what I'm saying? But it's real.
It is.
It's real.
Wow. And when another thing I didn't say, and you said it for me, and I think that's another issue. Like, for me, as a young girl, I didn't have my father there, right?
And I didn't have my father there.
And you didn't have your father, right? So, and that is one of the biggest problems. So to have a generation now like you that's like, no, I'm gonna be there for my son. I'm gonna be there for my daughter. You know, because it's so true. The generational curse. My father wasn't there. Now my kid's father is not in their life. You know, so it makes it extremely difficult because we depend on your strength so much. So it's extremely important. I was getting chills and I was holding back tears just from you telling me that experience, because you don't know if you haven't experienced it. That's another thing. Like, y'all men, you haven't experienced childbirth.
No.
You were there for your child. You watched it.
I watched it twice.
I watched it, but
you understand how painful it is.
Probably.
You don't. But when you were telling that story, it's like I felt it, and I felt like we need to come together and love on each other and support each other, because it is hard. And history shows that it's going to continue if we don't do something.
And because of social media, it's just going to be put out there more.
Right. Like, all that social media stuff ain't new.
Right.
It's just now
being televised.
It's just now broadcasted. That's it.
History repeats itself. So we need to come together stronger as a community and support one another. More importantly, love one another.
Is there anything, because I don't ever like to bring up any issues without solutions. I don't like to say the word hate, so my kids gonna be mad at me when they see this. Because I'd be like, we don't say hate in this house, because we know everything that's going on is centered around hate, right? But I hate when people just nag without, okay, now I've got that off my chest. That's cool, you can get it off your chest. Now what's the solution?
Right.
So is there a solution that maybe you're trying to conjure up and think about to see, like, not even a solution, just a part that you can play in the DMV area? Is there something that's on your mind?
My main thing I'm focusing on now is just what I said, trying to keep families together. That is a big problem in our community. And it seems like you said, it's more now than it's ever been. But history shows that we've been dealing with this for a long time. Social injustice, like you said, social media is bringing it more to the forefront, but we've been dealing with this for a long time. I think we need to get back to focusing on, how our parents raised us, or how our grandmamas, that's another thing, our grandmothers, oh my goodness, mostly grandmothers and grandfathers, what they instilled in us. We need to go back to that and instill that in our children.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy with all this stuff going on, because like I used to think that I was really big on family, and I mean I am, but it seems like since this 2020 year, I've realized I've gotten a lot closer to my family.
Right.
Like, we used to do game nights and stuff like that, but like not as much as we've done it now. Not as much as luckily I live in the same neighborhood. So now I just pull up on my mom's for no
Man,
reason.
this dude live around the corner. I'm so jealous.
Hey, but I got lucky. I'm from Sacramento, California. When I moved out here, the whole fam moved out here type stuff. Like you were saying, support. My grandma is retired Air Force, so she been here. So when it was like a thing to move here, grandma's here, forget it. We all gone. That's what it was. It was easy. So now, this is how we live. I live right here. Grandma live right here in this part of the neighborhood. Mama live right here.
Oh my goodness.
They
you got wisdom
cheating.
all around.
Yeah,
They
so,
cheating.
hey, I'll go to the stove. And just because you know what?
I'm
going to mama's house real quick. But because of this year, I mean, that's one thing that's kept me going this year, because there's been, like you said, a lot of hating stuff, and I've hated Oklahoma for a long time because of it, because I feel like it's a lot of it here.
It's not as diverse either.
It's not as diverse, so I mean, I've cut out a lot of things, a lot of going out and stuff, because I'd rather just chill with my close ones.
Yeah.
I've had some close people die here recently too, so it's like, you never know when someone gonna go. So it's just like all this year I've been trying to be closer to the fam, closer to the people who I've been knowing. And hey, I mean,
And you remember I said we almost thought about moving back to Florida. That's where my people are. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's where we met.
that's where we met. You know what I'm saying? So many moons ago, I'm so thankful.
Yes.
he go, my mom also, he call her mom, he could call, he
That's
text
facts.
her sometimes. He be like, I talk to my bro, like, talking to my mom, bro. Like,
I'll be like, yo, so I talked to mom, and she not trying to give me that TV.
like, what you mean, bro? You talk to mom,
Yo.
like, but hey.
I'd be like, so mom's watching the kids for me. She watching the kids for you. Where you going? Yeah, we going on dates.
You, hold on.
So then he'd be like, nah, she supposed to watch the kids for me. We fighting for real. But you know how it is.
all love,
But you know how it is. It's like, ain't even on I ain't got no jealous bone in my body, but to go see you love on your family make me miss my family. You know what I'm saying? And so to hear you say keeping families together, I think that's hitting a nail on the head. Because I mean, a lot of times I'm like, man, I'm missing my family, but at least I can always take a drive. I can always get on a plane. Some people, they don't have that luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Finances.
They don't have that ability. And so you hit it on the head.
Yeah.
You hit it on the head. So just to wrap this part of, this discussion up, one of the things that Twan and I are trying to do is we trying to figure out how to get together and put together a sponsored event where police officers in the metro area and people in the community can come together, almost like a big old barbecue, to interact with each other and realize that, oh, you're human.
Right.
I'm human, and but not a one-time thing, because this is like working out. You work out one time,
You ain't getting no results.
you ain't getting no results, but we do it, and we do it again. And, like my son got cops that he likes, and, oh, take a picture, blah, blah, blah. And these cats, cool as a fan. I'm still like, just sometimes I just don't even, I can't even hold it back. And these, like, Officer Nealon, Officer Greenwood, Officer Stamp, Officer Antoine. Like I know people now. I got at least 5 officers that I know now since being in Norman, which is why I don't want to leave.
Right.
Since being in Norman, that I'm like, wow, my son is getting an opportunity to know officers and not be afraid of them like I was. That's what gave us the idea to, like, man, we need to make everybody understand what this feels like, and vice versa, so they can know, like, oh man, yeah, he's got dreads, but he's a good dude.
Right.
He's educated. Right. Yeah, he's 6'4", 220 and blacker than a mug, but he's got but he's got a master's degree and almost got a doctorate degree till he ran out of financial aid. But like I only bring up my stature.
I just caught that.
But I bring that up because I fit so many descriptions.
Man.
So many descriptions. You know,
That's why riding that truck.
Yeah, hey, I got you. People fear what they don't understand.
Exactly.
So, and again, it goes back to that, if you haven't experienced it, and you say, if you do that, you continue to do that, then they're getting to learn each other. So now, having a conversation with you is different than having a conversation with you and not knowing who you are, not being in the
now
community.
the next pullover might go a little different.
Because now we have a rapport. We build a rapport. We understand. We have an understanding. And
now
also,
I got my post on my community.
Yeah, right. And then you also learn to respect, because respect is earned. It's not given.
Right.
It's earned. So when you learn to do that, I think that's another thing that's lacking. Is people don't respect one another. You know, respect and love is real big. So if we could get back to the basics, I think we'll be okay.
Real big. We just went real deep. I ain't been this deep in a long time.
Probably since Officer Nealon.
For real though.
Officer Nealon.
Yeah, he good people. So, all right, so what message do you have for the aspiring athletes?
I would say work hard. Hard work pays off. I know you hear everybody say that all the time.
It's not a cliche.
It's not a cliche. It's so very true. Build and appreciate and embrace your support system. Understand that you're going to have to make sacrifices that don't feel good sometimes. Some of those friends that you think are your friends, you're going to have to let go because they're not going where you're going. The things that they're doing that they think is cool, it may not be for you because you're going to a different place. So understand you're going to have to cut ties and losses with some people to be able to get to where you want to be. And then when you are successful and you do make it to where you're trying to go back and get somebody else.
Go pay it forward.
Yeah,
like
go
we like
pay
to
it
say.
forward.
Go pay it forward. Sacrifice. Huge.
Sacrifice.
What Ep27 say he had to do to pass that to pass that test.
He missed the prom.
Mr. Prom.
Ep27 missed his senior prom.
There you go.
To study for the SAT, passed his SAT, and went off to play for the Michigan Wolverines.
There you go.
Became a sixth round draft pick.
Because he made a sacrifice. If you ain't seen that episode, go to HBSML and go watch that episode. But big facts though, right?
Right.
Big facts. So, wow. Well, we got to do the ball signing now. We got to get that illustrious.
Uh-oh.
She's got plenty of practice.
I'm a little rusty. I did a signature in a long time.
You wasn't rusty earlier when you was taking all them pics and things.
Oh, the camp was awesome. I had so much fun.
I sent it to the fam. They like, she's tall. Like, yeah, wait, I didn't think she was gonna be this beastie till I seen her in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, TV make us look different.
Yes, it do. I told somebody that Jimmy Butler's 6'7". They said, what? I thought he was 6'3". Why you think he a dog like that? He's 6'7".
Yeah, I'm impressed with his game.
Yes, I am. Let's go. That is legitimate.
You know, I gotta put all my stuff on here. I don't got many.
Put them on there.
Got many. That's your
I don't
whole
have
strip.
many.
That's her whole lace.
For real though. Put them on there.
All right, there it is. Very small.
Let's go. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us as we drop gems that we picked up in these gyms. Easy button, Miss Nikki Teasley.
Twan the Don.
Salute.
Appreciate you, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sound good, don't it? Check. Yeah. Look. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look. Life tried to drown me. This hoop is it's like my life jacket. This ice in my veins is sunk the Titanic. Lockdown defense kept me out the center for detention. Divine intervention passes over to my center. Alleyways are the alley-oops. Some got no looks and passed away when somebody shoot. Back in court duo, but nobody hoops. The wrists follow through in the cuffs. Got a loop, pick a book up, picked up and get booked. It's just you and I, out running suicides. Me, I was out running suicide. Boy, I'm going in, dropping gems that I picked up in these gyms. I can't slack, I've been down and back. I'm just trying to share a few tales from this thing called life. Count my assists, man, I swear that basketball really saved my life. Yeah, yeah. I swear it saved my life. Let's go.